told you. Oh, God.
With MakingStarWars.net.
Oh yeah, I gotta put myself in the video. That's a thing, right? How's it going, everyone? I'm Jason Award from MakingStarWars.net, and today we're gonna be talking about the Mandalorian and actual real Disney drama, not necessarily Star Wars related, but who knows what it could inform. So we'll get into that for a bit. It's an article that just came out yesterday about Chapek and Iger and their drama. We see so many of these Star Wars YouTube channels. Oh, I guess they are YouTube channels. I shouldn't do that, but Star Wars channels maybe, because they kind of just make stuff up. So I think it's more important that we actually look at what's real, what's actually going on, what that stuff actually is, what the actual drama is. That way we could maybe ascertain how it can affect Star Wars, or it has affected Star Wars in any way, especially in our analysis in the future. Max will be joining me today on the show. I sent an invite out to our Australian buddy. We don't know if he's going to come, but he likes to feel wanted, so I wanted to make him feel wanted. So I sent him the invite too. And old Rob, believe it or not, got a girl to touch him and then hold his hand and then get married. And yeah, pretty sure because it's their anniversary. So we won't be seeing Rob today. So you're only going to have my fabulous Star Wars takes, and Rob won't yell at you today, but I promise you, Rob will watch the show and then he will brew and stew on everything you say today, and he will bring it to you, to your eyes and your ears tenfold, because it's Rob. Yeah, that's why we love him. But happy anniversary, Rob and Mrs. Rob. And hey, Santa. We got to get Star Wars Santa on the show pretty soon too. He hasn't been on in a while, but I know he's like pretty busy. I don't think he even has like a bathroom right now, or he's washing dishes. He's not, don't worry, he's not hobo Santa. He's not, but he's getting his house redone. And but so I heard he eats a lot of pizza these days, and I want pizza really bad. So that sounds pretty good. So I don't have any sympathy for him. Yeah, but anyways, so how is everyone in the chat doing today? Everyone cool? As we kind of fill up here, I always like it when you guys come in, 5 minutes later and like, what did I miss? Because I can't help but tell you, I'm bad at this. But good afternoon, everyone. It's nice to see everyone here. Pizza the Hut, yeah, pizza. I'm kind of don't like Pizza Hut anymore. That kind of weird, but I don't know. I kind of went cheap pizza. I kind of went Little Caesars. It's not the best pizza, but for that price, definitely pretty good. Hey Juan, how are you? Welcome to the show today. So yeah, the young boomer is out of isolation, back to work tomorrow. Oh, have you been in quarantine the last couple of days? If so, I hope everybody's okay and everybody's cool and all that jazz, because that is not fun. A couple of weeks ago, we thought my daughter might have it because she was around a family member who had it, and but she's good. She was good, thankfully, and we dodged another bullet there, if you will. Hey Griffin, how are you, dude? Oh, my rare occasion where member chat isn't turned on. Yeah, I try to mix it up. I know not everybody can be a member, so I try and leave it off. But whenever we have like the days where it's be like a really heavy, we have a heavy flow, when we have a big fill on here, then I always feel bad whenever I ignore channel members or miss their words, so to speak. But And if anybody can't afford to be a channel member, I'm not saying you, Griffin. I mean, just in general, because it costs $30 for gas right now and stuff. No worries, but you can send me a message, and I will just read your message on the show, and we'll just do it that way on those days. I'll just make sure I get to all the channel members, and then I'll handle that. So that way, nobody's left out. I always want the show to be accessible to everyone, and everyone to be able to participate and stuff. So that's always but once again, thank you to everyone who is a channel member. It's like $5 a month, or you could be a Patreon subscriber if you like Patreon better. And you get exclusive audio versions of the show. And through Patreon, you just have to add the RSS feed to your podcast app, your podcatcher, and then you can listen to the audio versions of this shit show. So it's up to you. But I'm waiting for Max a little bit here, but I think we might have to get started here without Max here in a second. But yeah, so well, let's just go right here. We'll start right here on slide 5 with Star Wars Santa giving his dab, because why not? I love it. It's my favorite thing ever. Okay, so up front right here, this came out via the Instagram. The old Chris. Wait, I'm doing it wrong. Hold on one second. You never know how this stuff is going to react, but there we go. That's better. Basically, we have this from Ramirez Rage, who is a costume designer for the Mandalorian season 3. And so pretty rad. It looks like it's like a crew patch of some kind saying Mando 3. No big spoilers in it or anything like that. Not like Book of Boba Fett giving out Grogu crew items that tipped everybody off that Grogu was in it, or the opposite of what's her name? Vivian Lyra Blair, I think is her name, who plays Leia in Obi-Wan Kenobi, giving out a rock that looked like a George Lucas kidney stone, but as a crew gift. It was actually a very sweet gift. I mean, but I'm crude and like to make fun of things, so it is what it is. But yeah, so but she's confirming, Ramirez here is confirming that that's a wrap from A Galaxy Far, Far Away. Thanks for having me this season. It was an absolute amazing adventure. Can't wait for the next one. So that is probably the main wrap of Mando 3. It's kind of funny because it actually, like, it's been in reshoots this whole time. There was a Star Wars Newsnet like anti-article against the Bespin Bulletin story. The Bespin Bulletin story was completely accurate, 100%. Things slowed down after the break, and then this was actually a reshoot period and a catch-up period. So yeah, if anybody wants to laugh about me saying period, you can, because we're all 13-year-old boys inside, right? Okay, so this is a photo right here that was sent to me from a friend who visited the Mando set in El Segundo. And wait, hold on one second. I wanted to I think thank Tyler for that, for sending me what he took over there, because it's pretty cool, right? I mean, it's just a rock wall at the end of the day. So let's not, it looks like the kind of thing you'd see like when you go into, a community college and you're like, oh, why would I go to this community college? Oh, they have a rock wall. You could totally get messed up and you could climb it. You're like, whoa, I want to go to school here. But yeah, it looks like, but these, why is it significant? And well, there's two main cave sets that are in Mando season 3. One of them has an Imperial door connected to it. I think it's darker though. I think that one looks like a darker kind of like more Star Killer base looking rock. And that one has Praetorians behind it. Don't go in there. And then this other one here is most likely for the Mines of Mandalore set that I talked about in that report that I got, where they go down and have that ritual and unleash the mythosaur. So, once again, at the end of the day, we are looking at a stupid piece of rock, foam probably of some kind. And but at the same time, it's more about what it represents, I think, in terms of the story and stuff like that. That's where it gets a little bit more important, maybe. And then these are just a couple of the pictures. Like I said, my friend just grabbed these on his phone. Not super fascinating. You can see a little bit of architecture here on the left, and that's probably Mandalorian architecture, which is why it's kind of interesting. You know what I'm saying? Like, once again, super grateful to my friend for going down and grabbing these for me, but also, not the best pictures, but it kind of, and not his fault or anything like that, but it makes me laugh because I got really into UFOs, as you guys know, and every day on Reddit and Twitter and stuff, I'm watching people that are posting their UFO pictures, and every day it's people like getting really mad at somebody for the quality of the UFO picture. And as I'm going through my comments on YouTube and weeding out old ones and stuff, I'm like seeing people basically make the same comments to me about Star Wars. And it's like, you know what? Cell phones just don't really cut it. At the end of the day, you're not going to get Max.
Hello.
How's it going, Max? How are you?
I'm great. I'm sorry for being late.
Yeah. This is your first write-up. On your second write-up, you have to rip the bumper off your car and beat the shit out of somebody with it.
Okay, let me go get the one that I chopped off.
How are things? Are any developments on the?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Cool.
Not yet.
Yeah, but so we're just talking a little bit about the Mandalorian season 3 pics here, and I'm like, look, it's a giant rock wall. Look at that. You could climb that.
That's on Mars. That's Mars.
That's Mars.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then but this is probably from the Mines of Mandalore set. Like, it was really big. That's what they had made too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and then I am getting a message right now that Bespin Bulletin has a photo of this stuff. So we'll go look at his site too.
Awesome.
And yeah, while we look at Santa. Look at Santa.
Hey, Santa.
I could look at it all day. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh
Santa's like, stop making fun of me. but we did get you to dab on the show, and that was the magic of it all.
Yes.
Hey, it's As It True. How's it going, dude? If I could get this. As It True is doing very excellent coverage right now of Lego Star Wars. So if that's your jam, definitely subscribe to As It True's YouTube page and check it out. It's pretty good. I'm believe it or not, trying not to. I don't want to know how to play. I don't want to know the secrets of the game. So when I do play it, like I am, like into it, because my son is so excited for it. So I'm going to be playing that game like in depth for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So, but after we start playing it, that's when I'm going to be like, all right, Luke, you could put on As a True's channel now and go to bed to it or whatever.
All right.
Yeah, little punk. Okay.
Hey guys.
What are you talking about, Santa? I don't know what that even means. That can't be true. Can it?
Canon it?
Canon it? Uh-oh. Don't make Shannon Cannon come out. We're not ready.
Not yet.
Okay. Wait, is this it right here? Crew members. Wait, is this where he has? Okay, so right there we have. Yep. This is it right here. Okay, I found it. On the old Bespin Bulletin. Yeah, so what does Bespin say? Let's see, because members of the Mandalorian season 3 department have wrapped. Amanda Ramirez. Yeah, so they're talking about the thing we already looked at. So good job there. Bespin Bulletin being very thorough. It's also possible crew members could have been referring to a 4th season of The Mandalorian, but currently it's not known if or when a 4th season will begin production. But Giancarlo Esposito did previously mention plans for a 4th season, as he told People. I think this is going to lay the ground for the blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so probably, but at the same time, it's all the same people making all this stuff, so it could totally go like either way. This is a really nice picture that Bespin has too. God, wish my pictures were as good as Bespin Bulletin's. What, does Bespin Bulletin think he's better than me?
Are you still going down there, or have you been?
I haven't gone down there in a while since they tried to kill me.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I'm not really scared of dying. Um, I don't fear them. I don't fear their death. But at the same time, I
Can you
was
go
just like,
in disguise?
I mean, I could totally just
You should
go
dress up like a drag queen and then go down there. They'll
and
leave
be
you
like,
alone for sure.
"Hey boys, anybody got any Star Wars spoilers for little old me?" And they'll be like, "Who are you?" And I'm like, "I'm Delta Burke. I'm grown up. Haven't you ever seen Designing Women?" Do you think it would work? I
Oh
think it
yeah, totally. They won't know it's you.
um yeah, so anyways, yeah, they like try to, I think they tried to set up a situation where I would get into a traffic accident with them, and then they would be like, this guy's dangerous and that's why he can't be here.
That's so
I think that's what they were doing, and I was just like, oh, okay, fine. I'm just gonna use all of the time I usually stay here just hanging out, and I'm gonna go interview all of the crew,
right.
and I'm gonna get everything from Obi-Wan Kenobi instead, and that's what I did. So, good work.
All right.
Yeah. Instead, we didn't get pictures of a fucking wall. But that's the world we live in. People, they don't think. So he says another piece of the set at the train yard was a part of a ship, but that set has been at the location for months and first appeared alongside a campsite. You want to hear something weird? Actually,
Huh.
I was down over in the area and was coming from a different angle, and it didn't go over to my usual spot. And you want to know what I saw there?
What?
Moloch speeder.
Really?
Remember that fool Moloch from Solo: A Star Wars Story?
Yeah.
I saw that shit down there with
Huh.
my own two peepers.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think that means?
I don't know. I mean, it's like there were pieces of Kenobi set still there,
Mm-hmm.
and at that time, so what I am saying is you could probably expect Moloch speeder. I don't think it means Moloch is going to show up in something. I guess it's possible they could do a Moloch cameo if they just want to be weird. But
Uh-huh.
also, it would be kind of weird for Moloch to like leave the world and take his speeder with him into different worlds and stuff. But Moloch, Moloch speeder will be in something. But maybe they like shipped it back here from Pinewood, and maybe they're going to paint it or something, and maybe by the time we see it on screen, it will be like retrofitted and painted up to be something new or something like that.
I actually do like the fact that they have been reusing, the different characters and stuff like that from different series and stuff like that, especially like Solo. And I mean, because they make all these great characters and stuff like that, and they don't get to use them again normally.
Right.
And this is a great way to utilize them.
Yeah. I mean, the like characters like what did they? I will always call her Mother Proxima because that was how I first heard. Like the first version of the movie, she was Mother Proxima.
Really?
When they did the reshoots and when they remade it, she became Lady Proxima.
She's
I
so
have no
lady.
idea why. I like Mother Proxima because it reminds me of Mother Superior
Talcum.
jumped the gun. It has that kind of like. And if you're a Trainspotting fan, you'll know who Mother Superior was. But yeah. So Bestman has a pretty good picture right here of the rock wall. Does it look like it has little pigs on it? To
Yeah,
be
it's
like scaled.
Yeah. It's so that the action figures can stand on them.
Yeah. I know this is a really random weird thing, but you know what I always loved? I always loved like the like hexagonal shape of the Kenner figures. Like some of them just had holes at times, but there was this like when you get like a new one, it kind of had like the little hexagon like
Mhm.
shape to it.
Yeah.
I don't know. As a kid, I just always thought it was cool.
Did you stick your tongue in it? Like,
Yeah. I got one pregnant. Right here you could see the looks like maybe. Oh, wait, is that elevator shaft that I had the picture of turned sideways? Remember that picture I had like a while ago of like an elevator shaft with trees around it? I mean, I could be wrong, but it almost looks like that's the same piece, but it's turned on its side now. I wonder if there's like a big elevator sequence, and we might see like the it turning like around, and that's for like a visual effect.
Uh-huh.
Unless Beth's been totally explained this and I missed it, but it does look kind of like the elevator shaft turned on
It
its
does.
side. But he says another place you can see was a part of a ship, but he says that's a part of a ship. But it does really. I wish I had looked at this already. I didn't see this until. You'd assume Lucasfilm were in no rush to start production on the fourth season, given the slew of Star Wars projects filming this year. Ahsoka kicks things off in late April, and Grammar Rodeo begins filming in June, as I previously mentioned. Both shows are slated to film in California, with the vast majority of production taking place in Manhattan Beach Studios. The Acolyte is slated for a start date this May in the United Kingdom, though things have gone suspiciously quiet for the series. Yeah, that one right there, just like Rogue Squadron, makes me wonder if it's going to happen, if it's going to film when they were initially planning on it, because I guess it's still possible, but
who's working on that again? That Leslie
Headland.
Yes.
Yeah, it was the showrunner on that one. Bunch of writers. They got a whole writer's room for that one. The Mandalorian was initially slated to wrap in March, but evidently the shoot went a bit longer than initially expected. I wonder if it's because of the scoop you had that people said you were wrong about, because everybody wants to play authority. I wonder if that's what happened. I'll never understand why people have to be such stupid assholes to people who bring really good content like Bespin Bulletin. I mean, it doesn't make you look like you're a better fucking website or a better show if you show them up and tell, I am the authority here. And nobody gives a shit. Like, nobody really cares. All it does is actually hurt the feelings of the people in your Star Wars community. So don't be an asshole.
Right.
That's what I say. Asshole.
Yeah.
Asshole.
What does that come on? It's a movie with I think it's the Fockers movie. Doesn't he? He's like asshole. I think.
I know. I quoted the Fockers Circle of Trust, but was made to look like a pedophile predator for quoting a fucking mainstream Hollywood movie. But that's the world that we live in. Everybody needs their clout on the internet.com. I'm hungry. I need cock after this, says Rick. Oh no, he needs to cook. He needs to cook. Sorry, I'm illiterate. I can't read. Hey, Mike Porter. Mike Porter likes pizza. Mike Porter doesn't give a shit. Mike Porter was like, pizza. Griffin.
Speaking of, I had Little Caesars yesterday. Pizza.
How was it?
It was only one pizza. They don't serve two pizzas anymore. At least I don't think.
Wait, they used to give you two pizzas?
You remember? A long time ago. Yeah, Little Caesars. That's why it said. That's why it was pizza. They were for two pizzas.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Just being honest.
I ate that one stupid Batman pizza with my kids a couple weeks ago. I think it was pretty good. It was stupid, but it was pretty good. It's like
was it a promotion? You said that, right?
Yeah, it's like a Batman shaped pizza. Stupidest thing I've ever bought. Like
they didn't offer that for me on DoorDash.
I guess
I'm gonna sue them.
Oh well, you know what? If you're using DoorDash though, they probably use the preset menu.
Oh.
So if there's like anything that's like a temporary thing, they probably don't add it on. Most likely. The young boomer says, "Yep, quarantine for 5 days, tested negative 2 days in a row, so I'm good." All right, nice.
Yay.
Yeah, good job. Good job. Evading the empire of viruses. Rick Jones says, "Us poor are allowed to chat." Rick Jones, just send me a message, man, and I will always read your stuff. Just wake up, buddy. Nice background. Just waking up, buddy. Old man Griffin. People don't know that Griffin Campbell is actually the great grandson of Joseph Campbell, so he knows everything about mythology.
Is he really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true. No, it's not true at all. I made it up. But like Azertruth says, if you are a channel member, you are in the cult, and but on this cult, you can take your helmet off. I don't care. I really I can't see your faces anyway, so don't give a shit. Doesn't matter to me. Honestly, if you take the helmet off, I won't even know.
It would be cool if in the chat you could like people could post their pictures. What they look. I always like to put a face with a name.
So Joel says Santa did some softcore Cinemax stuff with Shannon Tweed in the late 90s. Oh, is that why he doesn't talk to Gene Simmons of Kiss anymore? Is that what the Gene Simmons Star Wars Santa feud has been about all these years?
It's Gene Simpson.
Gene Simpson. He's all you take Shannon Tweed's name out of your mouth. That's what he said to him. The young boomer, I'd be content with 3 series of Mando, then Din and Grogu showing up elsewhere in other shows. And Mando on a higher note than peaking and rattling on like Doctor Who. Yeah, I mean, I honestly think that in a lot of ways, Mandalorian season 2 was probably the best ending that they really could have done with that. But then they decided to, keep it going. And Star Wars is always going to keep it going, though. So I don't know. It's like on one hand, I'm like, yeah, but is this ever really over? Nothing ever ends with Star Wars.
Nothing ever ends.
Yeah, it's why would it? But I gotta say that it would have been cool if they just went on to something else and left Good Enough alone. But then we would, of course, clamor for more. But I'm telling you, I'm of the opinion that when people see Mecha Grogu and his mech killing and Dylan damage, I think they're going to be into it.
They're going to ship
people. Yeah, I think there's like 25% of the audience is a holdout that he just should have been a Jedi. They're just not accepting reality. He quit. He didn't take the scholarship. He got a free ride and he didn't take it. He dropped out. He wanted to go join the cult.
He wanted to go work. He didn't want to go to school.
Did not want to go to school. And hey, you know what? Not everybody needs to. You know what I mean? So most times, just gonna get a bunch of loans. Not worth it. But I think he had a free scholarship though. Luke didn't seem like he was charging him much. He was feeding him frogs and stuff. But anyways, what it comes down to is the story did go there. So that 25% just can't really please them anyway now. And then the other 25%, I don't think they can see how ridiculously rad it's going to be when IG-11 is turned into like Ed 209 and Grogu is piloting it, mm-hmm. And because it's going to, it's his little Hulkbuster, and I don't know, I just don't know how everybody's just not so into the idea. It's so great.
Maybe they need to see it first.
When they see it, I think is when they'll like get it, and it's all adorable, but also hilarious and action filled. I think when you put hilarious, action, and the adorable all together, I think that's when everybody's just like, I can't hate this. This is too good,
Yeah.
So Azushu says, I think you'll both love it. All right, on Lego Star Wars is what I assume he means. And yeah, I think so too. It does look like it's going to be worth the 08. So Solo series, please, James says. Yeah, I think that would be the best way to deal with Han Solo in the future if they want to do anything with him, But he may be cooler, like if we just kind of get pirate Han Solo kind of more developed as somebody who comes into shows, sort of like what we were talking about, Grogu and Din doing. Solo is probably a good person to do that with. In the right era, now that Kenobi doesn't really open up that era for Solo. Mm-hmm. And Kenobi can't really do anything. But if they start telling more stories with these characters 10 years before A New Hope and stuff, that would be a good place to start experimenting with Han and Chewbacca again and stuff like that, because
I'd really like to see that continue.
Yeah, me too.
It's what they intended.
Yeah, I think so.
I just thought it was a little, I don't know, silly for them to stop. I think that was a knee-jerk reaction, like,
yeah,
okay, it didn't do well or whatever, or the whatever backlash and stuff, and like, okay, let's stop. No, it was a good. Yeah. It was a good movie.
Oh yeah, it was definitely a fun movie. It wasn't.
It was fun.
I think a big problem with the concept like Solo is that it's relatively low stakes, and it's also coming right next to The Last Jedi, going into the final chapter of Rey's story,
Mhm.
which is high stakes. And so it has a weird feeling to it when you historically ground it, like at the
Mhm.
time. If I just go put it on right now and watch it, I have a good time with it. It's like I like it. I don't
Yeah.
hate the movie, but once again, it comes down to the low stakes kind of nature of it, and that's where like it did what it was supposed to, but what it needed to do, or what they failed to do, is like Kira should have been a character who we cared about more, who we thought maybe would be redeemed, or maybe there would be something good, or maybe there's something else coming. And
Mhm.
it's all kind of swept under the rug with Maul. Nobody's
Yeah.
asking about Kira until the false rumors started and the
Mm.
comic book and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
now that we know that has been kicked over to like comic book land, they're not going to pick up any of those plot threads anytime soon. They can't. They really
Yeah.
can't. Like they've actually like locked Kira into
What she is in the comics.
what she is in the comics. Yeah, and so unless they go post Return of the Jedi with her, and
You hadn't read the comics, right?
I know of them. I've read some of it, and then I watched like a lot of Meg's coverage of stuff over the last couple of months and stuff.
That's pretty much how,
Meg does really
yeah,
good comic coverage too.
yeah, that's how I've learned about how how Kara's doing and what stories they have for her. I just thought that was a little weird though that
Mhm.
they took her, in that direction. But
Yeah. The comic book stuff for me is just like so hit or a miss, or I'll get into it and then it'll just do this dopey misstep that to me is a deal breaker in immersion. She like presents Await the Dawn. Like, what the fuck? It's like she might as well be like flipping letters behind her, like she's on Wheel of Fortune or something. Like it just doesn't fit with the fucking karate master, or what master of Terraskasi, Darth Maul apprenticed, assassin. It's just also marketing wizard. It's just like, fuck you.
and she wants to go and like conquer or beat the emperor, right?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
seems a little
above her pay grade, I think. And
yeah.
Han Solo. So that's not a knock on Kira or anything like that. That's these characters hang out in dive bars and play sabacc, and then she starts to get a bit classier. But don't try to take her up into I'm gonna kill the Emperor territory. That's just stupid. I mean, in reality, like they think they're telling a story when they do that. That is like, whoa, Kira's really going for it. But you know what she really is? She's a fucking hillbilly in fucking like some podunk southern state who wants to like kill the president. It's essentially what she is. And she's not that. She's a it's a huge misstep in my opinion. So yeah, so that's just quite kind of why I don't care. But once again, if people are having fun with it, I'm not telling anybody what they should enjoy, or you know what I mean. I'm not trying to ruin anybody's time. But that's why I mostly just follow the live action stuff and get mad about Boba Fett instead. James, how's it going? James George Washington.
Hey,
also,
James.
People know that Campbell is Campbell's great grandson, and James is George Washington's great a bunch of greats grandson
From London, from England, right?
From
or over there.
I don't know. I think he likes to smell hemp fields burning though. Is there a huge warehouse somewhere where they keep all the ships and buildings to use in the future?
Yeah, my backyard.
It's over at Max's house. It's called Max's place.
Yeah.
Max Katana. No. Anyways. Yeah. Well, how it was working for a time. Is that stuff was mostly stored at Pinewood Studios, like where it was made. And they had it all stored out there for a long time. Around the time of there was another studio being made. It has a weird name. I couldn't even say it until I met a British person and had him say it for me 5 times. I forgot what it's called now, but it ended up not being finished. They had taken all of the stuff and put it there for a time, and then that studio never got finished, so it just became a storage space place. And then I saw some stuff, some like shipping ledgers that were, that you could just see publicly, and that they had sent all of that stuff over from Pinewood that was made for Solo and Rogue One over for Mando. So some of the Stormtrooper helmets and stuff like that. And then now I've seen, like I said, Moloch speeders out there, which is super like, okay, it's weird, but it's out there. So I'm guessing, I'm not saying this is what's happening, but I kind of starting to wonder if they are moving out of Pinewood. If they're, Disney has a new studio in the UK. And so I'm kind of curious if they're moving away from using Pinewood and starting to bring stuff back here.
Yeah.
Now. And was like when I saw Moloch speeder, is it a thing? Or is it just like we're bringing stuff out of there? Because when you look at how they have the train yard area set, I'll show people the layout maybe tomorrow. If I thought about it, I would have done it today. But we could just go to it on Google Maps and look at it or something. But basically, like what they did was they didn't want me to be able to see, so they started putting the shipping containers around the set and in a perimeter around the property, and then they hung big blue screens. But the shipping containers still hold things inside of them. They are still essentially shipping containers. So it's like a way of using storage and getting like a privacy wall. The privacy wall doesn't really work though. You can still pretty much see everything. So that's why they started trying to run me over. Vigilance says, please don't make Solo 2 happen. Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest. I would not be mad if they made a TV show with Han Solo and that world and continued on. Do I want a Solo film over any other film? I'll pretty much take any film over a Solo 2 though.
I think totally Solo would do better on TV.
Yeah.
As a series or something.
Yeah, and like if that Lando series happens, which if it does happen, I'm curious as to how it works because me and Besson were talking about this the other day. Donald Glover signed like a big deal. I think it was with Netflix. Was it Netflix or it was Amazon? I think it was Amazon, something like that. And basically, he has like an exclusivity deal. He's developing like Mr. and Mrs. Smith. He was doing it with Phoebe Waller-Bridge, and she I guess they kind of, I don't know if it was drama filled or not, but they sort of broke up in the middle of that, and they weren't lining up creatively.
Lando and L3.
Yeah, Lando and L3 were writing Mr. and Mrs. Smith and making a TV show about it. And then I guess the story as I heard it is that they basically just couldn't see eye to eye creatively. Donald Glover's taken the project now and he's reworking it by himself. It's more of his thing, I think. And yeah. So, but anyways, he seems very busy. And I'm kind of curious if he's going to be playing Lando in this new Lando series, or if they're going to get a new Lando or de-age Billy D. Williams and use a young actor to play the part, and then just skin him as Billy D. Williams in a younger way or something like that. I'm curious. I'm if anybody knows anything, works in the industry, please let me know, because I'm curious about where that show's at. Is that show still happening? Is it likely to even happen? And it does seem like Acolyte. I don't think I could be wrong, but I don't think they're really up against like a time crunch right here. We have shows that are so far out. Like we have so many shows like lined up right now that the fact that Acolyte hasn't started filming yet and it appears to be pushed back, I don't think it matters. I don't think it's really going to change much for us, like on the consumer side of things. But I am curious if it was pushed back, and I'm curious if Grammar Rodeo is High Republic era, High Republic era, and then therefore they decided Grammar Rodeo would be the better introduction to the era than letting the political thriller with martial arts in it. Sounds cool to me, but if maybe they thought this was a better route to go before exploring the High Republic era. So I'm curious as to what the story is about why Grammar Rodeo seemingly cut in line for Acolyte, and if Acolyte is like officially pushed back, because there's a little bit of weird stuff on that front,
Yeah.
But it's all speculative, and it's just all because they don't really give updates on what their production stuff is. So we have to go ask the questions and search it out ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, I would like, since they announced everything, the upcoming shows, that they stick with them, because you teased us.
Yeah.
And then the fact that they had canceled one or so for, or put one on hold does tend to make you wonder.
Yeah.
Did y'all release the info too soon? You weren't sure. Is it going to go?
I kind of wonder if Grammar Rodeo and Acolyte will talk to each other as shows. Will we have any characters who are in both?
Mm-hmm.
Or will we see a character who maybe in this show is a young Jedi, and then by the end of it becomes the Acolyte? You know what I mean? Of a Sith Lord or something like that. Like if they're really telling something bigger here, or if it's just two random shows in the same era, and there's like, hey, Favreau, want to do one? He's like, yeah, I'll do one. I'll do anything. I'm John Favreau. I cook. If I'm not cooking, I'm making Star Wars.
Yeah.
I hate that guy making Star Wars. Little bitch takes pictures of my set. Took a picture of me one time. All right. Vigilance says, I think they should dare to make the Mandalorian's final season into a movie event. Everyone is watching at this point, and with Lucasfilm feature level FX, it would shine and be a hit. Yeah, we were talking about that yesterday. Rob was really on about that one too yesterday. And yeah, I don't think it's a bad idea. I know they've kicked that around in the past. Like Favreau's talked about. He said anything's possible. He's been asked about it, and it did sound like they had considered that concept.
That would be great. That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
and it would do really, really well because it has drawn in a whole new group of fans that hadn't watched Star Wars before.
I'm curious if they were to do it. Would they have to acknowledge the previous seasons of the show, or would they just straight up make it like, you should have watched that before you saw this? You're watching part 4 of a story. You know what I'm saying? Like because that's where I think the complication lies. Is that you're saying you did, like when they made the Serenity movie for Firefly. I actually watched a little bit of Firefly, wasn't that into it, and then forgot about it, and then saw Serenity and liked the movie a lot. Had a good time with the movie. Then I watched the rest of the show, and I was like, I just didn't like the first episode of Firefly. Really, it just was a long, hard slog for me for whatever reason.
Book of Boba Fett, right?
kind of like, actually, strangely, like Deadwood. Like I love Deadwood. Deadwood's one of the best shows I've ever seen made, but the first episode, it's just kind of like, Timothy Olyphant's in it though, and he's fantastic. So if you guys have never seen Deadwood, and it really you could see the influence on it in these live action Star Wars shows, but you could also see where the live action Star Wars shows fail to live up to the promise of Deadwood, like in Book of Boba. But yeah, I mean, that's the point I was trying to make yesterday, is that I think if they do anything in a film, the visual effects need to just be spectacular. It needs to, you know what I mean? You need to give John Knoll sleepless nights again. Then it needs to be like next level, because the storytelling is going to be better suited for Disney Plus in a series where you can just meander if you need to for a little bit and really deal with character development. Yeah. And because in a film, you have 2 hours to get it right. If you miss it, you're done. Everybody hates you. You messed up. Die. That's just how that's how the whole thing is. Excuse me. But when it's on on Disney Plus, I think Book of Boba shows exactly what the parameters of fucking around are. Like this, you cannot fuck around this far, or we will be like, no, you've gone too far. I mean, at least in Book of Boba, when they veered off, it was for something better than itself, which was Mandalorian season 3, episode 0, or whatever it was. But and so in that way, I was entertained. I had a good time. I really. I beat that show up, but I like it by itself. Like that, if I just watch episode 2 with the Tuscans, I'm like, oh, this is great. But when I watch the other stuff, I'm like, oh, this doesn't go anywhere. I tried to watch the finale again, like knowing it, thinking maybe we had all Star Wars Santa was having theories about the Battle of 5 Armies from a Lord of the Rings and stuff, and then it was like I was joking, it was the Battle of 5 Guys. It was just 5 Guys employees who showed up, stopped making burgers for a minute, and had a brawl in a city, and it was just so small. But anyways, I put it on again, thinking like I'm just gonna watch it like in context now, with my expectations completely realistic. And boy, about midway through it, I'd start thinking about other stuff.
The same thing? I mean,
Yeah,
not the same thing, but wow. I've actually had I've had some passengers that I've talked to. Were a couple, they were like, they liked The Mandalorian. It didn't do as much as they thought, or it was okay. And that they started watching the Book of Boba Fett and didn't get past very much of that. And then, I'm over here gushing about The Mandalorian. I'm like, oh my God, I just, how it affected me. And I ugly cried the last episode. They're like, I need to watch it again. And then I said, and they want to know what else is going to happen. I said, well, with Luke and Grogu. And I said, well, you need to watch the Book of Boba Fett now. So but I am wanting to let you know, just heads up, the pacing's different. So
right.
just so that you're aware of that. And they're like, really? And I said, yeah. I talked, and then that's when I intro about this show, that we talked about it, what we would do, would stay up late, watch it, blah, blah, blah. And then I've actually had other people that when they talk about Baby Yoda, oh, it's a show? I'm like, yeah, of course it's a show. You didn't know that? And they're like, no, I just thought it was a meme. Everyone knows who Baby Yoda is. So that's
I
where
thought it was a meme.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah. And that's why when you're saying, I wonder if they, if they were to make the movie, how they're going to start it off, if it's something that you need to have watched the Mandalorian on Disney Plus and stuff like that. So
yeah,
I mean,
or maybe
I
they
don't
just do like a little montage of
what's
their
happened.
entire story and tell it to a new character or something. You know what I mean? And do it that way, so that way the new character is caught up as is the audience. I'm sure that there's all kinds of ways of doing it, but yeah, but
or having
that's,
like something in the beginning of the show or the movie, kind of like a series of flashbacks of everything that's happened to kind of.
What would be like fun about that though is that if they ever did something like that, if they did do a Mando movie, for instance, as they would be able to do episodes of the almost like, remember how they used to do webisodes for TV shows? They kind of fucked around with that for a while. It didn't really go anywhere, and then just ended up not really being worth it. But on Disney Plus, you could essentially do webisodes that sort of connect to the film in interesting ways, and actually have a ton of tie-in to the movie story, and if they wanted to. But that's kind of interesting. Crawling Space says, oh, I noticed the 4K 80 version of Empire is now in beta, so a Final 1.0 should be coming soon. So I guess that's somebody, a group of people who are converting the original version of Empire into 4K and doing like a remaster of it or something. Kind of cool. I appreciate that kind of stuff. I wish Disney Plus would just put it on there. You know what I mean? Just let us go, put it as an extra, so that way people don't accidentally watch the original ones. But I guess that might require George Lucas to like sign off and stuff. But hello, Bill.
Hello, Bill Miller.
James says, I don't want Mando to end, but agrees season 2 would have been the perfect ending. Yeah, that I think like my big issue is Mando sort of like it's weird because we experienced it in real time in a weird way. Like Grogu leaves, and then in real time we have like about a year and a half or something with not knowing what happens. So in real time we go with that, but in terms of the story, it's like he went and then he went to the slumber party and called his parents right back and said,
He's like,
I don't want to stay here.
He's like, fuck this, I want my dad.
Yeah. And so in a lot of ways, I would have, since we have a series of, and it's just ongoing with no time frame or end date, we're not up against any real clock here. I would not have minded a season of sort of like Mando aimless, and then but getting into adventures, but obviously something's missing, and it's not a little green buddy. Because if we had more story in between it when they did get back together, it would have felt a little bit more special. And then we wouldn't have had Mando tied down with the aspects of Grogu being a baby, and you know. But
I think that you did say this before, that even though, well, it seemed rushed that they, you know, kind of reunited, but in reality, we already had a year to deal with time.
Yeah.
So it was, I guess, a way fans like me being impatient and then seeing that was rewarding, because I wanted to know what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I ultimately do like Grogu going back to Din. But I would have, if I was in charge, I probably would have had Grogu go the Jedi path, and then have the complication of something that brings him in. You know, like how Count Dooku was both a count and a Jedi. That's badass. That's like the best of both worlds. So I was kind of hoping for something like that with Grogu, but it does seem, I could be wrong. I don't know everything about the new season or whatever, but it does seem like he's going the Mando way entirely. It doesn't seem like he's really going to be using the Force stuff. So
it would be nice. Go ahead, sorry.
I don't think Max is going to give anybody a free Uber ride back to Tatooine.
I'm not Uber.
Oh, are you're Lyft?
Yeah.
Lyft is a better company. So, Eric, Mecha Grogu versus Mecha Barbara Streisand. I'd watch that.
Or Mecha like a high, Mecha high ho.
Oh yeah, Eric. I was watching what do you call it? Last Stream on the Left, and then they had this clip that I opened the show with, and I thought it was from the wrestler named the Shockmaster. And I thought, I wonder if Eric, I bet you Eric knows who this is, but it makes me laugh.
I told you. Oh, God.
Oh, that's awesome.
Shockmaster. That was his intro. He just walked right in there. Pretty amazing.
That's funny.
What? Spreezy.
I wondered where you were. I was going to say something.
Yeah, like, what's happening, guys? I got a new Twitter account. I had a burner account where I used to like roast people and troll people and shit. But I got a new Twitter account, and I don't get any notifications. So I need to change that. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
All right.
How are you, Chris?
I'm good. What are you gasbagging about?
We're just talking about Mando.
Okay, cool.
Rando Mando.
Yeah, I saw the stat pics. Pretty cool.
Yeah. Old Bestman Bulletin did it. Yeah, dude. I'm gonna play Fortnite after the show. I'm gonna get on and let you carry me through the battlefield. That's see. Here's what's like kind of funny is I'm not good at Fortnite, but I'm usually like a top like 5 player, probably. But when me and Bestman play, we start talking. And we're just talking the whole time, and then I play like I don't know how to play, and then but he can talk and walk and chew gum at the same time. I can't.
So he's a lot more talented than you.
Yeah. Crawling Chaos says they should do solo to screw the haters. Yeah, I don't think it's that. I think it's they like money a lot. Unfortunately. Hello to all you beautiful Making Star Wars people. Hey Jason, how are you, man? Jason does the UFO show with us here sometimes. Pretty good time.
Aloha.
I love hanging out with that guy. Aloha. So what else we got? Solo was better than The Rise of Skywalker. Yeah, I think it was a better film than Rise of Skywalker, but it also had a lot less to like do. You know, that's where it's weird because like I always say, Rise of Skywalker is kind of like Boba Fett for me. If I watch any of it by itself, I like it. When it's all together, that's when the problems happen
Big
for me.
mess.
When the whole thing together, the way it sits in harmony together, there's a disharmony for it for me when I watch it. But if I watch just like them going underground and fighting that crazy snake and shit and healing it and stuff, I'm like, oh, this is fun. I have a good time with it, you know. But Abrams is needlessly confusing though. Like, is that indoor? Me and Bestman were talking about that the other day. We're like, I think it's indoor. I don't know. It was indoor. And then he's like, nah, I think it's like a different place. It's like a moon event, like a different place on indoor, like a different.
Yeah.
But I'm like, so Wicket got in a spaceship with the sun and moved to another place down the street, or is that Ewok not on Kef Beer?
Yeah, it's all too confusing.
I don't fucking care. I don't care. So that's what you did to me, J.J. Abrams. Stupid. That's what Truth says. I think I heard on a past show Rob would be making emotes for the chat. Is he doing channel badges too? If not, they would be great to have as well. If you want any help on membership, just ask. Oh, you know, I hadn't really thought about that. But yeah, if you have any ideas, dude, just by all means, I'm always open for the help. I use Photoshop like a toddler. As you can see from the featured images on the show, I barely know what I'm doing.
Who did the logo of the
Rob?
Double Dare one? That's cool.
Yeah, Rob did the Double Dare logo.
Where is Rob?
It's Rob's anniversary.
So he's getting it on.
Yeah,
No.
he's like, yeah, I think so.
He's like,
He's
I'm
getting it
tired.
He's
like,
getting
I'm
it on.
tired. I'm tired, babe.
Okay, guys, don't like tell anybody, but I think he's dry humping.
Oh,
I think right now he's doing some old classic Star Wars dry hump.
nice.
Will Morgan says it's true. Han Solo is ground level. Wait, what does ground level mean? Does that mean it's like fucking like it's the shit, like we're on the ground here, like boots
Straight
on the
up.
ground, or does it mean like it's like dog shit, like white dog shit from the 70s?
It's not dog shit.
No, I'm asking what will actually means.
What did you said it was you were just talking about different levels.
Street level.
Ground
Solo.
level,
Did you
street
say ground
level?
level? No, you said
He said it was ground level.
no, but you said it was lower level or
I don't
some-
know, next level. I don't know. I just say shit,
after you
Max.
watch this show.
Max, people asked me what I said yesterday, and I'm like, I don't remember what I said 10 minutes ago. James says we have Pinewood and Elstree in the UK. Yeah, Leavesden is also being used again for some Marvel projects.
I thought Elstree was. I guess I got confused. I thought Elstree was a part of Pinewood, or
No, Elstree is a different studio. It was the original place where they filmed the original trilogy. Also, Batman 89.
so why did they make a big deal about having it in Pinewood? Because they said that they were going back to the original or something like that.
No, they were just going. They were just
Just to
going
London?
back to the UK because they got a sweet ass tax break.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were like, come here and make a certain amount of movies here, and we'll give you a huge rebate.
Have you seen the Elstree documentary about Star Wars, the extras or the extras, like the people in the background?
I haven't seen that.
No,
I know.
don't-
Elstree 1976.
Yeah, I remember that. I saw that, but I don't really remember it. I remember when that came out, though.
Yeah, it showed like who played Greedo,
Yeah.
who played the bald head female alien. David Prowse was in it.
Watch what you say when you say that, because Will Smith will punch you in the face.
You better not punch me.
Yeah, that's alopecia. That alien had alopecia. I've loved seeing everybody give a shit about two rich people punching each other. It makes me laugh. I'm like, who gives a shit? I really don't. I think it's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, great! It's Dummy. Hey, what does Dummy have to say? Sorry, every time I read your name, I have to do that to you. Nah, Han is far from ground level. He's married to a princess, best friends with Grandmaster, father to a supreme leader, and he alone is a legendary general who blew up 3 Death Stars, top
That's
level.
all true.
I heard that in girlfriend mode. I did.
Yeah,
That's like telling somebody off.
yeah. Dummy.
Should reread that.
Go ahead. You want to read it in girlfriend mode? Because once I start, I don't stop. That's what they know about me in girlfriend mode. Come on, there it goes. Animated Solo, for the love of God, please. Yeah, Han Solo would probably do pretty well as an animated series.
There's so much shit we want. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, we're greedy. We're all greedy.
Yeah.
We're
Mhm.
never satisfied.
Yeah.
We all-
I mean, no.
Just like Prince.
Well, they're pretty greedy for our money, so if they want it, they could do the things that we want. I mean, that's my take. Although, I
Like,
mean, but I
where's the
don't.
merchandise? That's
Yeah.
what's been like.
Oh, right.
They pumped the brakes on that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. They did too much.
They did.
And it's like you still have,
They did.
you know, they I think in a weird way they got greedy. Like Lucas was, I don't mean to say Lucas was like ever austere with Star Wars merch. He definitely wasn't, but there was definitely like a line at times. And then, you know what I mean? Whereas they went so hard on The Force Awakens that if you kept going, if you kept buying anything, you realize I just have too much shit. I have too much of this crap. And then now here we are a few years after, and we still have that stuff in our homes. A lot of us do.
Yeah.
And we don't really want or need anymore. And so that's where, in a way, it may not have been so smart to go as balls out as they did, like up front. But I'll
just never forget 1999. I mean, when the Phantom Menace came out, there was Star Wars merchandise fucking everywhere, dude. Toilet paper, toothbrushes, cereal, you name it. I've never seen anything like it. No, it's
Pizza Hut boxes, KFC boxes.
That's where I went. I went for the whole because I found that the toys from the restaurants were a lot rarer, I guess. Like they wouldn't be overproduced. So that's why I ended up getting those. And oh my God, I ate so much shit. Like I ate KFC, Pizza Hut, Taco Bell all the fucking time.
Yeah.
And then when episode 3 came out, I was eating Burger King like almost every day.
Remember that? Remember they made that black Whopper?
Burger.
Like the dark side black Whopper. I never had
that was in
it.
the UK though.
Yeah. Okay. So it wasn't here. I never had it. So
no.
Okay.
Yeah, because my friend in Paris, I think they had it over there too. He got it, but we did have the black burger, actually the bun for Halloween, I think, and it does something to your when you eat.
My friend just wrote me. He's all, bro, I was dying laughing when you're talking about the pictures being bad. I was riding on the shaky ass train holding up a phone. Yeah, no, and it wasn't like a critique. You know what I mean? I wasn't trying to pick on you. I'm grateful.
I mean, if we didn't take
I was holding shaky ass train holding up phone to my binoculars even. So good job.
That's awesome job. I mean, without him or her, I mean, we wouldn't.
You got the pics, man. That's at the end of the day. That's what I say. If you got the pics, you got the pics.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's a bloody fucking wall. I'll take anything right now.
Right? A rock wall. So, oh wait. Luke asked me. It's Miller time. Everyone, raise your glasses. It's Miller time. Hey, what do you think the runtimes for Kenobi might be? Hopefully an hour long, I'd imagine. They're about 45 minutes. I know this because I know what the like shoot times were, and like the parameters of the episodes and stuff like that, and having interviewed people and knowing how that usually runs, how many days and what the shoot was and stuff. And so yeah, they're going to be about 45 minutes. So if one goes into the 50 minutes area, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
But over an hour, I think would be highly unlikely. And if one did go over an hour by some magical way, you're going to lose that time in another episode.
Yeah.
It means another episode's 30 minutes.
Right.
That's just how it's going to be. But I think that they are very even keeled. I think that they're going to be like about 45 minutes each is what we should expect. And yeah, and don't get your hopes up for it being longer. You're going to be disappointed.
But we're looking at about 3 or 4 minutes of credits, though, aren't we?
Yeah. But what my math has nothing to do with the credit stuff, by the way. Like I'm not adding that into it or anything like that. But yeah, so I would expect 40 to 45 minutes is probably going to be like your average runtime. And when all is said and done, when all 6 episodes are out, let's take the runtime of the whole thing together. Let's average it out, and let's see if it's about 45 minutes on average, because then we'll know how I estimate things, and I'll be able to make it more accurate next time.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Crow says, "Well, that's a pretty badass name. Name's Crow. Josh Crow. Investigations." I enjoyed Solo, not a hot take, but just a fun heist film. I bet we get a second one or a show for Disney Plus. Yeah. I mean, I definitely see there being components to be picked up, and leads into what channel member Joel Williamson says. Was Donald Glover ever attached to Lando? No, not officially. My take, and I think most people who know a little baby bit about Hollywood's take would be, I think maybe Bespin even said this to me when we were talking one time. He probably has first right of refusal. That's probably to play Lando again in this series, provided it's Lando in the area in which he could play him. I don't think if they go to tell a show with a 65-year-old Lando, got to ask Donald Glover if he wants to get the Back to the Future Part 2 makeup on and play. I don't think it's like that. But I'm thinking if it's playing Lando in that era, he definitely probably has the first right to it. But I got to be honest with you, I don't think it's going to help Donald Glover. I hope he does it because he wants to play it if he does. But I don't think it's going to help his career. I mean, that guy is really hot.
Yeah.
Been hot for a while, and it doesn't look like he has any. He hasn't. And for what it's worth, I've known have had mutual friends who've worked with him and or know him in some degree professionally,
Mm-hmm.
and for 10 years, the story has always been that Donald Glover is a nice guy, that he's a great guy. You know what I mean? Whereas usually when you hear about somebody over the course of 10 years, it's like, oh, he's kind of a douche. Yeah. You will get somebody who usually says that. Never had one person say Donald Glover was a douche. Everyone's always like, he's just a great dude. So in terms of him being around with Star Wars, I would love if he was around more. But I also don't know if he needs it. I think
the logo,
Lando, and
the logo looks very 70s, I think.
Which one? The Orlando one?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I was thinking that it was gonna be him.
Yeah. When it comes, well, we had indications that it was going to be live action, but there's some people who think it's going to be an animated thing, and
I hope not.
But I kind of don't think so. But because of where it showed up, but you never know. And it would take them 1 second to clarify the confusion.
I think we're going to get clarification at Celebration, though. I think they give us like a roadmap of what's to come in the next 2-3 years.
Yeah,
animation and live action.
I'm with you there.
Would you go to Celebration, Chris?
I live too far.
I know, that's what I was asking.
Yeah, I live too far, but I'm definitely going to come see my cousin and Jason in August, September. So
nice.
yeah,
yeah, it's gonna be cool, man. Star Wars Santa says, I'm 100% on board for the continuation of the Solo story in a Disney Plus series. So
Me
yeah,
too.
yeah. I don't think anybody would be against that. I think the whole question right now for the future of Lando and Han Solo is, do you I think I see Jason sort of maybe going where I'm going with this. Let me see. I think the successful use of deepfake tech has made Disney really okay with ditching the attempts at recasting younger versions of the characters. I like Solo, but I'm also good with Serious or Nothing. And so that's kind of where I'm going is do you recast younger people, or do you go with what people know and the fact that you may own the likeness to Harrison Ford? And I don't know if they do yet. Looking at what they are doing with Indiana Jones, kind of thinking that they might have and really invested in de-aging Harrison Ford through Indiana Jones and an R&D effort, because they may have bought his likeness for Han Solo too. And because a part of me would love if we just got CGI versions of Lando and Han Solo, and it was fantastic, and if it didn't look weird and didn't play weird, and it was that's like a best case scenario.
That to me, that would be fun to see those guys like go on adventures and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because it's like you're always, I think we're always, our generation specifically will always go back to those actors being Han Solo. And then you end up, even if you fall in love with Alden Ehrenreich's interpretation of Han Solo and you end up going with it and you're like, this is good, you still hit those weird like moments where when you go watch something else and it's not him. Like it is kind of weird, like when you like watch 100 episodes of the Clone Wars and then you're back to Hayden Christensen's Anakin. There is a little bit of weirdness there.
Right.
I mean, I don't think they'll ever do it, but you have so many people bringing Darth Vader to life. I was kind of in a weird way hoping that they would have done something with Matt Latner doing the voice or something just strange, but it would just be too bizarre. But KG says, Solo has grown on me a bit. I hated it at first. Yeah. I don't think it's a movie to hate. And I don't think I just don't think it's particularly brave. That's like my big critique of it. Like I said, it's low stakes. It's just fun. And it doesn't ask much of you. But the ramification is it doesn't matter much either. Like if space aliens landed today and they said, okay, guys, which want to learn all about what's important to you guys, and we want to learn about your culture.
Solo.
What is Star Wars? Can you tell us which Star Wars movies to watch in the next 48 hours?
Solo.
I probably wouldn't say Solo. I'd probably be like, you know what I mean? It probably wouldn't make it. I'd probably be like, and then you got season 1 and 2 of The Mandalorian, and it probably wouldn't make it because it doesn't matter very much. So that's kind of where, but at the same time, like, you're like going through a depression or a breakup or having a bad day. It's not a bad one to put on because it doesn't, I mean, of course that bitch does stab him in the back. No, I'm kidding. But I mean, other than that little bit at the end, I mean, it's pretty low stakes. It doesn't, it's not one where you're like, oh man, this is hard to watch. So James says, the Cara Dune rumor keeps coming up every now and then of her returning. Do you know if that's BS or not? Drunk 3PO brings it up sometimes, and he knows her. Might be trolling though. To the best of my knowledge, there's no Cara Dune, anything that I'm aware of. So,
do you think they addressed it in season 3 though, Jace?
I don't think so.
They just pretended to happen.
Yeah, like I mean, if we just want to talk about like never mind why she was let go or the drama, let's completely remove ourselves from the politics of the of reality, but let's look at the politics of career moves and what to do. She made a huge miscalculation in terms of thinking that she had any kind of power player clout here to be able to maintain her position because they're not in a story bind. they literally like wrote her out of the Mandalorian, like, hey, why don't you become this like sheriff thing and go and do this? And you're like, so now if we never see her again, we're just like, well, she went and became a sheriff in the New Republic, and she probably retired and had herself a log cabin somewhere. I mean, at the end of the day, like the story was so good. It's like, like in a sitcom, like back in the 70s when they used to like write off somebody from Three's Company every 6 months. For some reason, you'd have some of them like they would like actually like, they would have like some reason that they couldn't be let go, and they had some power play to make more money for a time to try to get more money and stuff. That's what it's classically been around. Like Sanford and Son, there was a whole part of the show where Sanford wasn't even in it, wasn't even in his own show. It was like Grady's show. Yeah. Grady was like the crazy guy down the street or something, and he was like the main guy because of a contract dispute. But anyways, in this show right here, like they actually kind of wrote her like a send off, where if we never saw her again, it was fine.
They put her in a ship and sailed her on.
Yeah, and
she was a small character. I mean, she wasn't that prominent in it. I mean, I think people forgot that she's only in like what 2 or 3 episodes.
Yeah, she's. I mean, and it's pretty obvious because like what you have is you have people that were calling her a Mary Sue and other versions of that kind of bullshit and calling it the Woe Mandalorian and stuff like that before, and they didn't give a shit about her, and then once she was politically aligned with them, all of a sudden, the Mother Teresa of Star Wars was fired. It's like, I and then like what I always say is like, it's just as a fan, it's just a shame because we invested somewhat into that character.
You're like, I cared about you.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not gonna go that far that I actually like I didn't really give a shit about her, but I didn't, but she wasn't a bad action hero when she was with Grief Karga and Mando, and they're like, they're coming to get us, and they got the guns out. It was fine, space TV, if you will. You know what I mean?
I liked her as a character.
Yeah,
I remember. I thought she was cool, and then I had no idea about her other stuff.
Yeah,
and I have to say, like, it almost got to a point where it was hard for me to separate the two because just knowing, just certain things, I was like,
yeah,
it's too bad.
That sucks when it happens.
I think she was a pretty important character in season 1. I mean, in the promotion, it was her, Carl Weathers, and Pedro Pascal. She was like one of the 3 main characters. So
she was in the marketing for sure.
Yeah, season 1.
Yeah, in terms of like screen time, though. Yeah. And when did she come? Like 4th episode.
4th episode, yeah.
Yeah, and then she comes back, and then she's
back in 7. I think 7 and 8 when they.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something
like that. Yeah, it's been. I need to rewatch my earlier season now. But we end up with her with that offer to become a space cop, and
then Sasha Banks is also not in it, right?
That's been a big question.
Supposedly,
that's been a big question. Yeah. We'll have to see.
Because I watched one of Meg's episodes and she mentioned something about that.
Yeah.
That's why I was surprised, actually.
Yeah. I think we'll have to wait and see what Bespin Bolton has to say on that pretty soon. I think we're talking about that recently. I think he has something more. I don't want to step on anything he's working on. But yeah, I don't know what to make of that whole situation. It's a little bit more complicated than the Cara Dune one because it didn't blow up in the same way.
Karen Dune.
Karen Dune.
That was a good one, I have to say.
Oh, Karen Dune.
Did Sasha Banks do something that I don't know about or some shit?
She went kind of hard on the anti-vax train for a while,
Oh,
And
shit.
then and then so it sounded like I don't know all of the ins and outs because I'll be honest with you, I don't watch wrestling,
Yeah.
and I saw her in the
Wrestling.
show. Yeah, I don't watch wrestling.
Wrestling.
I mean, here's the extent of what I know about wrestling.
I told you. Oh, God.
That's all I know.
Uh,
So,
That's
you
great.
don't know Glow?
oh no, I know Glow. I mean, I know wrestling from when I was a kid, but at least
You're not up to date in wrestling. It's
the
fair to
what?
say
You,
that
you
you're
didn't
not
say
up to date.
it's not. It's not. It's real. It's real to me.
Yeah.
Real to me. No. But anyway, she showed up, and so I really don't give a shit. And then she was in the show. I didn't think she was important in the show.
Yeah.
So if from my perspective, if she comes back, cool. If she doesn't, I wouldn't have noticed. If you guys weren't mentioning it to me, I never would have thought twice about her. You know, I don't even remember what she did other than stand next to Katie Sackhoff.
Yeah, she had
You
a
know.
tussle with Boba Fett for like 5 seconds, and then yeah,
Katie Sackhoff's pretty amazing though, so it's kind of hard to pay attention to her. All right. Anyways, here we go. Oh no, Joel says can't wait for Kenobi so you can stop talking negatively about Boba. All right, Joel.
Ooh, that was girlfriend mode too.
If I'm becoming a negative Nancy about Boba Fett, I will let him rule with respect, Joel. I will. What about surprise twist cameos in Kenobi? They pulled it off with Luke and Mandalorian with the super secret filming sessions. Yeah, but no, I don't think so. I really don't. I would be super surprised if they
Surprise you?
Yeah. I mean, it would be cool if they did, but I mean, I got the Qui-Gon stuff.
yeah.
I actually got more. I actually have
Qui-Gon-
more Qui-Gon stuff. I got more Qui-Gon stuff to report pretty soon. So I'm gonna have another Qui-Gon report, you know, down the road. And but I mean, like what's the Luke Skywalker moment you can do other than Natalie Portman?
Yeah.
And I you know, I did my due diligence on Portman, and the only thing I came back with is there's a moment where Kenobi mentions Padme and says that she saw the light in him, and you know, he's not the tough guy he thinks he is, and so we will get that moment in Kenobi where, you know, Obi-Wan once thought as, you know, that kind of thing that
Does
he
he
says.
cry? Does he go?
Who, Darth Vader?
"Ooh"? Yeah.
Oh, Darth Vader's always crying as a bitch.
Ooh.
He's the most crybaby bitch in Star Wars. I mean, has there been anybody crying more than Darth Vader?
Yeah. No one cries in
Padme
in
cried,
Star Wars.
but she just had
Oh,
a
yeah,
broken
she
heart
did.
instead. She fucking got over it. She was like, you know what? I'm just gonna fucking die. She's like, yeah, I got 2 kids here. I'm a fucking queen. I'm a senator. You think I want these fucking babies? She's like, we use protection, but this motherfucker's midichlorians got me pregnant. And I'm not gonna live for these kids. I don't want them. You know, I mean, that is an accurate interpretation, because I mean, once you have kids, you're like, oh man, I got this something more I'm responsible for something more than myself now.
Great.
Padme was like, fuck no. I was been hating Christensen in his prime, and that primo dick is gone. It's burned off. She died. So, you know, that's George Lucas's Star Wars, ladies and gentlemen. The Crawling said that, yeah, they already did 4K 77 and 4K 83. They are out there available for free. Oh
Let me
yeah,
say that-
I see stuff from that. Yarr!
Yeah.
Interesting. I wonder why they did Empire last. I wonder if it was more complicated, or there was just more work to it, or was it that A New Hope or Star Wars, if you're old, and Return of the Jedi had the most changes, so like they were like the most, you know what I mean, sought after, like, because for the most part, The only reason I actually like would be excited about watching the original version of Empire is just seeing the white snow. They
Like
color canned it.
through the X-wing or the ship, whatever, starship
No, like
or fighters.
when you compare Echo Base from the original release to the later versions, I think Lucas color timed it incorrectly to make it have more of that blue Ralph McQuarrie kind of design that they wanted. But in reality, they just bought like the Shining snow, the snow from The Shining.
Did
And
they
like,
really?
yeah, it made Carrie Fisher really sick. It's one of the reasons that it
From Snorting It? I'm just kidding.
yeah, she's like, this is cocaine. This is cocaine.
I'm totally kidding.
No,
Oh, that's so bad.
oh, she would have if she could have. If she would have got her fucked up back then, she would have done it. Actually, the whole time, if Carrie Fisher could have got fucked up from it, she would have done it. But yeah, it was making her sick, and Gary Kurtz just was just like, oh, like Mark Hamill almost got like decapitated doing the Bacta tank scene, and she was having an allergic reaction to the snow that they were using, like all these
What is the
bad
snow?
things.
What is it?
It was some kind of chemical. I don't know. Something about it Carrie just didn't agree with. Most people were fine with it, but rather than go, oh, this is an issue, they were just sending her out onto it every day, and she was getting really sick and not having a good time. And so that's one of the reasons that Kurtz was sort of disliked by the cast. And during Empire, he's actually let go. Howard Kazanjian, who produced Return of the Jedi, comes in for like the last third
Really?
Empire and takes over. Yeah,
I didn't know all this.
Yeah,
This dramatization.
Yeah, that's why whenever you'll hear people putting Kurtz on a pedestal, and by all, I mean the guy was part of the of the stew that made that great soup of the original trilogy. So I'm not taking, or at least the first two films. So I'm not taking that from him. But at the same time, those two films barely happened because of him. So it's definitely very confusing, So
confusing.
Yeah, confusing. So, anyways, Mando should have ended with 2 more episodes. Santa says Mando should have ended with 2 more episodes from the Book of Boba Fett to complete the Paper Moon arc. Yeah.
I'm going to have to watch that movie again.
Watch it. It's so good.
I saw it once. It is a good movie. I remember.
Yeah.
When I saw it.
Yeah. And there's like I said, there's elements of Paper Moon that inform the plot of Mando, but also we're going to see some of that relationship inspiring Kenobi and Leia in the current Kenobi series. Probably, and at the time, I was kind of trying to wink to people, but it's weird. I don't mean anything sometimes, and people like read into things and it goes all crazy. Other times, I'm like literally like sending Lola and Morse code on screen, and nobody catches it. So, but that was one of the ones where I'm like, it's weird that they did the Paper Moon story, but they didn't do it with a smuggler. Instead, they did it with the Jedi, and nobody caught it. But I was like, oh well, that was just me fucking around though. But honestly, I shouldn't do that because sometimes I'm. Hey Tyler, thank you for grabbing those pics on the train through the binoculars, Tyler.
Hey Tyler,
much appreciated, man.
I like his Mando helmet.
Yeah. Oh, I almost thought that was a T for Tyler, or is it a Mando helmet?
It's like a Mando.
Maybe it's both.
Maybe I think it's a T for Tyler. I think all the Mando helmets are T's for Tyler. T's for Tyler was a T-shirt drive on the planet of Mandalore. 22 BBY and 22 BBWs.
Jason, do you know what the Mando helmet's inspired by? What helmet it's inspired by?
Yeah.
What's it inspired by?
Spaceman.
Oh, cheeky boy. No, it's
is it like a Centurion helmet or something, like a Roman
Corinthian helmet?
Corinthian? Okay. Yeah. I don't know my history that well on that shit. Yeah.
Centurion's a bit like 500, 600 years later. So.
Oh, okay. Did you ever
Yeah.
watch the TV show Centurions? Oh,
No.
it was a good time. If you were 7 in the 80s. Star Wars Santa says, "Gotta go. Time for my weekly client meeting at work. Catch y'all tomorrow. Bye, Santa.
Santa.
Come and hang out with us whenever you can. It's always an open invite, obviously."
Hey, James.
And then old James George Washington, Will Morgan. Ground level means Daredevil and not Captain Marvel. Okay. Street level is the same. All right. We are learning a lot today. We're learning how to talk street. So not the high ground. Yeah, man. This guy, dude, he's crazy, dude. He got like on a train. He's like putting his phone in binoculars and stuff.
People
No,
ask what he's doing. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. It's pretty funny, actually. I was trying to find it. Someone during The Last Jedi took a telescope, put it on the Falcon, and then put their phone and got me pictures of the Falcon from the Last Jedi that were really good too.
It's crazy.
And somebody did that with some UFO shit, and people were calling bullshit, saying you couldn't do it. And I'm like, I literally have a picture of a real UFO, which is the Millennium Falcon, and we like literally did exactly this. And but it's really hard to get pictures without having like the right like lens and all that kind of shit. Like when you're just like with your phone trying to get stuff, it's hard. The Emperor is out of Han's pay grade. Laugh out loud. Well, yeah, he is, man. Like the Emperor, that's some like mystical shit right there. You can't deal with that. You can't bring what's the saying? A knife to a gunfight. Just like you can't bring Terrace Kasi to a Sith fight. You're just gonna get shocked. They're just gonna go and kill you.
That's true.
I mean, you're gonna have to get real. Hey Caesar, what's that? Stab him in the back. Like that's the only way it's gonna work out, and that's not gonna work against the Sith Lord. He's gonna sense it. So the dark side burger gives you force squirts.
No, it doesn't.
Oh,
It gives you green or blue colored.
well, I was looking forward to it because I don't leak, I squirt. Oh,
There you
sorry. Hey, Hannah, how are you? What happened to the sexy force ghost?
Rob's got some fans here. Jeez, nice.
Yeah, we had the Ghostbusters come and put him in a ecto containment unit for the day, so he could
And he's full of slime today.
so he could celebrate his. Well, I don't see when a woman shows up and is calling him a sexy force ghost. Is that when I drop that he's like on his anniversary, or do I let him have it? I don't know, but
I think his wife would want them to know.
It's true.
It's the best comment.
He's slimy in his wife.
Rick, Rob is boning his wife, Hannah. It's his anniversary. Rick did it for me.
I just saw that.
Yeah. And I'm only kidding. We're only JD the MC. I agree. I could watch a whole series following that deep fake Luke. It wasn't perfect, but it was good. I prefer it to recasting. Yeah,
much better than Mando season 2. I'll tell you that much. Much better.
Yeah.
Luke, like my only thing about it is that Luke is even killed the whole time. He is at 5, and he's always at 5. He doesn't drop down to a 2. He doesn't go up to an 8. He's at 5. And so I'm curious, like what are, can they, I would love to see what kind of tests they've done. Because you have to imagine that they redid Return of the Jedi stuff. Like I want to see, can you do the "you're not my father"? Can you do that kind of stuff? You know what I mean? Like the no moments and stuff like that. Does it come out weird? Does it look right? Like I'm curious.
When I saw that, the first thing I thought was like, okay, I would be up for like a Luke show. If they can do this and like be consistent, I could totally do it. Because I bought into it. I was like, this is
isn't deepfake really, really expensive though? Like the budget has to be pretty high for them to do that the whole show.
I don't think so. Well,
I think
it wouldn't be. It's time is more of what it is because it's like AI learning, and then it just like renders the shot out. I don't really know how long it takes them to do each one,
Yeah.
but I
I would
don't.
imagine it gets easier and easier and less expensive.
Yeah, I mean, people are putting movie stars and gangbangs at home for their own weird pleasure, you know. So if it's that accessible to people at home, ILM doesn't. I don't think they're going to have a problem with it. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if it hasn't already happened. If we see ILM sort of have like maybe like we do know what was his name? What was the youngster who was hired on
The
to
YouTuber.
what was his
Yeah.
name? It was like Chunky or Chauncey or something like it
He
was
had a
like Grazie. I don't remember what it was, but he had like it was like God, it's on the tip of my tongue. It's kind of annoying.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
anyways, I wouldn't be surprised if there's like if they are developed if they haven't. I have to think they have developed a deep fake sort of like team.
Or yeah, they're
With-
like, okay, well, to work with him and say like, let's create something.
Shamook.
Shamook. Shamook.
I was gonna say Shaboom.
Shimon. Shimon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a cool name. I agree. I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Because Indiana Jones, that's where I was going with it. Is Indiana Jones is I believe the first like 20 minutes of the movie esque 15 minutes probably is young Indiana Jones, and they're using the deep fake stuff to like bring young Harrison back. Also has some time travel components to it, but I don't
Yeah,
think.
I saw some Roman set pics or something in Rome or some shit like that.
Yeah,
Something bonkers, man.
yeah, it's I'm looking forward to seeing how that one turns out. But anyways, with that in mind, yeah, ILM is definitely I think pretty not even dipping their toes or diving into the whole deep fake aspect of AI learning. I wouldn't be surprised if I mean I don't know much about how ILM operates internally as a business now that they're under Disney, but if it was under George Lucas, I think he would have saw deep fake stuff, and I think he would have been like, "How do we make this better?"
That's what I'm.
And they would have
That's what I'm
started.
thinking. Where they are now.
You would think, right?
Mm-hmm.
But and then I don't know a lot about the deep fake stuff. Like, is that just like an open source tech where they just take it now it's ours, and then now they're just what I mean, going to go and develop it off of the backs of the original.
Or I could even see
development?
them saying, "We're going to buy this.
Yeah,
It's ours."
it's ours now. You belong to the mouse, to the house of mouse, says every article. Tyler says Solo's score is beautiful, really underrated, I think. Yeah, it is. It is a really tight score.
Source Solo's score is beautiful. IMO.
In my own opinion, IMO.
Just kidding.
I mow the lawn. Rick Jones says Han Solo seemed unnecessary to me, but I enjoy the film. Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Eric says Sasha was off of WWE TV for a lot last summer, but I can see WWE not giving her the time or not being able to hire due to vaccination status. Yeah, she was like traveling and stuff like recently and like doing like bit parts with them.
Sasha Banks.
However, she probably changed her tune as she's been able to work in the UK in October 21, but her stance might have overlapped with Mando 3. Yeah, well, most of the Mando stuff was actually like filming like right now, so we'll have to see how it all shakes out. Crawling Chaos says Padme not hanging on to live for her kids always bothered me. Well, I explained it to you. I don't know why it bothers you. It makes complete sense.
She's a party girl.
Yeah, she's a party girl, man. What do you want, dude? You can't tie that down unless she wants to be, and it's not like that for her. She wants to die. She want to be a mom. The Crawling Chaos said they did Empire last because they had trouble finding intact versions of it. They scanned the original film with a 4K scanner. Apparently, Empire versions are quite damaged. Ah, I see. So that explains it. Whereas Jedi was in pristine condition, just reading from the project website. Okay, cool. Dummy says, Luke, deepfake Luke was excellent, would love more. And Griffin says, guilty as charged. Hannah says, if the time travel rumors are true about Indy, South Park needs to do a new episode with George Lucas, Steven Spielberg, and James Mangold framing Indy again. Well, we'll see. We'll see if we'll see if it's a good Indy movie or not. You know, I mean,
I'm hoping it's good though. Fuck.
Yeah. I mean, I actually liked the fourth Indiana Jones movie. The first 2 acts.
Which one was that one?
Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
That came out in 20-something?
2008.
Yeah.
I saw that. I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it too. It's probably my least favorite one. I go back, like, it's weird. Like Temple of Doom, one day I'll be like, Temple of Doom's kind of bad. And then I'll watch Temple of Doom. I'm like, it's so bad. Everything about it's great. And then I'll watch it. You know, it's just like Back to the Future Part 3. Back to the Future Part 3 is that way for me too. I watch it one time. I have the best experience. I think, you know what? It's really great. I'm going to watch it again. I watch it again and I hate it. I'm like, it's not that good. It's kind of fucking sucks sometimes. And then I watch it again. I'm like, you know, it's not as bad as I thought. It's just back and forth to me, back and forth. Oh shit, D'Angelo is getting his no Rob day. He almost wrote no Obi, but he wrote no Rob. Uh-oh, twist. Okay, I want to throw up some of this article onto the screen before I forget, because we are almost done and I haven't got to it yet. But I thought this was kind of interesting kind of stuff here.
It's extremely awkward.
Oh, extremely awkward. Bob Chapek and Bob Iger had a falling out. They rarely talk. What? They were best friends. and the rift looms over Disney's future.
You should read it like that though, in that accent.
The former Disney CEO Bob Iger's relationship with his handpicked successor, current Disney CEO Bob Paycheck, began to fall apart. Now, Iger had stunned the world in February of that year by resigning as Disney's chief executive, even though he'd said it like a bunch of times. Yeah. Effective immediately, he elevated Chapek, whom Iger and the board had long seen internally as the front runner for his position. Iger would stick around as executive chairman and direct the company's creative endeavors to help with the transition. The timing of a CEO change at arguably the world's most famous entertainment company couldn't have been worse. Just weeks after Iger stepped down, Disney began closing its theme parks around the world during the initial stages of the COVID-19 quarantine. Iger and Chapek seemed to be ready for the pandemic challenge together. I can't think of a better person to succeed me in this role, Iger said March 11th, 2020, during the company's annual shareholding meeting, where he acted like a cowboy. I watched Bob Iger lead this company to amazing new heights, and I want to suck his meaty cock. And I've learned an enormous amount from that experience, Chapek said. Okay, he didn't say the meaty cock part. I added that. That didn't actually happen.
Oh my god.
If they did that, they would probably still be best friends. Because I know anybody who wants to do that's my best friend. Anyways, he reported Iger wasn't going to turn Chapek onto the wolves as a brand new CEO while the world was falling apart. Iger told Smith he would stick around to help run the company. A crisis of this magnitude and its impact on Disney would necessarily result in my actively helping Bob and the company contend with it, particularly since I ran the company for 15 years. So you know, it all made sense. Look at Iger. He's like, look at Disney. Look at Mickey Mouse. Look at him in his little, what is that? A Hugh Hefner robe? What's going on there?
Yeah, Mick Mouse.
Dickie Mouse. It's a turning point moment, said one of the familiar with Chapek. Basically, what ends up happening is, okay, here it is. While much of the public's narrative had centered around Iger's long goodbye, he departed as chairman in January. Chapek 61 was actually been firmly in control of Disney for more than 18 months. But wait, where's the fucking email? He sends like this email basically, and like the email is what pisses off Paycheck. Late last year, just weeks before his departure as executive chairman, Iger threw himself a long going away party. Yeah, what a guy. Inviting more than 50 people at his house in Brentwood, a suburban Los Angeles neighborhood. He spoke at length about his time at Disney in front of the crowd. Chapek attended, but there was little interaction between the two men. According to people who attended the party, guests, including veteran Disney executives and on-camera talent such as broadcasters Robin Roberts, David Moore, and Al Michaels, sat at two long tables at Iger's house. Iger and Chapek sat at opposite tables. Chapek sat near several of his direct reports, including Daniel. Iger sat next to film director and mogul Steven Spielberg. So that tells us that he likes Kathleen Kennedy. While Iger spent about 10 minutes publicly praising former colleagues, he barely mentioned Chapek. It was extremely awkward. So yeah, it goes on. I think I must have accidentally skipped the part I wanted to read, but basically he sent out this like email. Hold on.
Why didn't you do a search?
I'm trying to do.
Oh, you have to yell at me.
Off my ass. Okay. Yeah, publish a story regarding by email. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So a crisis of this magnitude, blah, blah, blah. You know, okay, he sends that email out, right? Chapek was furious when he saw the story. According to 3 people familiar with the matter, he had not expressed a need or desire for extra help. He wasn't looking for a white knight. Iger had postponed his retirement as CEO 3 times already. Chapek felt he was essentially doing it again, leaving him as a hapless second banana. According to people familiar with that's such a Disney way of putting it. Oh, I just feel like I'm just a second banana right now. Oh, well, paycheck. I'm a second banana because this guy won't leave. But,
who uses that term? A second banana?
Fucking Disney executives, I guess. You know, but yeah. But anyways, so that's what happened over there. That's what happened with those guys. So those guys aren't getting along. I gotta say, Chapek, I'm not really sure if he's just shit or it's the pandemic. But you know, it's a hard read. But things haven't really gone too much better. Oh, crawling chaos! How dare you? Crawling chaos said a banana in the tailpipe.
I'm not going to fight no banana in my tailpipe.
Do you know how long I've been waiting for somebody to say that?
How long?
This long.
Excuse me.
Hey! That's not fair.
Come on, let's go.
I've never seen that. What's that from?
Beverly Hills Cop 3.
I didn't know he was in that movie.
Yeah.
You know why? Because I never saw Beverly Hills Cops 3.
You never saw part 3?
No, I only thought that there was 1 and 2.
No, there was part 3, and this happened.
Excuse me.
Hey! That's not fair.
Come on, let's go.
That's George Lucas and Kathleen Kennedy.
That's cold. That's fucking
Hey.
Yeah, my current plan is to make that into an ending for the show. So every single time the show ends, we have George Lucas say, "Come on, let's go." You know,
That's funny.
Yeah.
What about you didn't put the banana in my tailpipe thing?
Tyler says, Max, you were right about my icon.
See?
It's T for my name and a Mando helmet. Figured it was the perfect combo.
It is.
So wait, why is Max right? I'm right too. We're both right.
We're both right.
Yeah.
It's your Mando both right birthright. Wait, come on, computer. Wow, Lucas is a good actor. Robert St. Clair says, I put a breadstick in a tailpipe at a Pizza Hut buffet in high school. You know, I've always said that Robert St. Clair is pretty much the Eddie Murphy of Pizza Hut. I've always said that about him.
You know what? Are there still tailpipes in cars anymore? I don't think so. Are
Yeah,
there?
I think so, but I don't think it's like I don't think it works the same way. I could be wrong. I mean, I'm just gonna encourage people to not put things in tailpipes to figure out if that works or not. I'm not saying do that to see if it works. I'm not saying to do that. Papa Nerd denied. I can't remember who the woman is in the scene with them. I don't know if she's an actor or if she was like the writer of the movie or something. I
Just
can't remember.
just a
somebody I thought
glance at her, I thought it was Kathleen Kennedy.
If it was, I think it was Kathleen Kennedy. I think we'd see it everywhere. I think it would be
You
like,
should deep fake her face.
yeah, I could do that.
Come on.
Yeah. The talking
Hey.
Sith. He'll be back in Ahsoka. Just kidding. He's out for his anniversary. Oh. Lucas understands his acting craft. I gotta say, his acting is pretty much.
Hey. He said, "Hey, good."
Yeah.
Hey.
Let's go.
Yeah.
You know.
good.
Yeah. But all right. Well, if anybody has any last questions, now's the time to ask them before we get out of here. Sorry, I was just running to Hannah. My chat was way behind. It's okay talking Sith.
So, Jason, you got any scoops coming up? Something that we can look forward to? Fill us in. Anything to put in our calendar or something like that?
Oh, I already hinted at one today. And I got a Qui-Gon follow up in the works. Yeah, I talked to a crew member from the Star Wars shows and confirmed a couple of things and paraphrased a couple of things. And so I will do a part 2 to that. So yeah, I will definitely do that pretty soon.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's weird because I'm like, I did so much at one time.
Yeah.
That like people started just to get it for granted, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where there's like, oh, okay, of course, there's always spoilers. What I have found funny is like this idea that like leaks are somehow things are more protected than others. I'm gonna pick on Meg because I love her, but today she had one and she's like, oh, what do you call it? So tightly not locked down, and it's like, no, these are all of these things are locked down exactly the same. They are all just as tight as the next. It's the same procedure across the board. So one doesn't become harder than another. But certain aspects make things more difficult. Like in no way am I going to call the work I did on Kenobi fucking a walk in the park or easy. It was just, it was as hard as episode 9. You know what I mean? But
your knees are all like scraped and shit.
the difference though is that like Cassian Andor want to know everything about Cassian too. I did, but I wasn't really working that. Like I wasn't when that started, and then I was working Kenobi, and kind of was only one of me. But people aren't as excited about Andor. Like I'm just gonna say, like if when you go and you film a scene with Mon Mothma, you don't fucking go home and go, "Dear Diary." Yeah. Most people, I would, but most people aren't like, "Dear Diary, today I did it. I filmed Mon Mothma, a dream I always had." No, they when Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader fucking punching each other in the dick, that's gonna be like, oh my god, I filmed Darth Vader getting punched in the robot dick today. Like I want to tell everybody, it's a little it's easier. Those interviews are a lot smoother than with Andor, when it's like, yeah, there was a lady and she had a big stupid cape on and she was boring, and then her husband is a vicar, and it just kind of like goes on, and it's not the same level of excitement. So so like that's the difference. Like that's why like I got the Mando finale spoilers. Like I got like the most, I think. I could be wrong, obviously, but if the tea leaves were read correctly, then that's really important. Oh no, you're turning into the logo from Kenobi again, Chris.
No, he finished.
You were like turning into the sand and blowing away. You were a Sandman.
I love when I do that.
You're a Sandman. No, but anyways, yeah. So it's like Andor is only hard because like nobody really kind of gives a shit. I think they will though. That's not a slight on the
That doesn't
story.
sound too promising, though.
Yeah. It's just like the parameters of the show. Like no one's engrossed in the intrigue and the center of the mystery at this point. So nobody's talking about it. You know what I mean? People and it's like imagine if you worked on, let's say, Batman, and then you worked on Andor. Like, what are you going to talk about?
Andor.
Yeah, I know I would, right? But you would, but in reality, you're going to talk about Batman. You know what I mean? You were working with filming Gotham and stuff like that. Like that's just kind of like how it goes. It's a weird situation, but it's just the way that it is.
I hope we're pleasantly surprised with Andor.
Yeah, and I'm not saying Andor's going to be bad. I think Andor's going to be probably one of the better things that they're
It's
doing.
probably be really serious.
Very serious. Yeah. You're not going to see like
I want a serious show.
And to give Book of Boba a little break and not make what's his name mad. I am seriously curious if we end up appreciating Boba Fett in hindsight, like there's the people who are less than plussed about it, like myself, because you end up with like a show that just didn't take itself too seriously and had space mods and was like, there's a crazy Wookiee and you know what I mean? It's just like all this random weird shit that's fun by itself. But I'm wondering if like when we get like into spy espionage, spy versus spy stories, and then we go over to we got the spy versus spy story. We go over to Kenobi. That's like this deep lore story. That's essentially in a weird way a retelling of or enhancement of Revenge of the Sith. And it's like, it's so just the opposite, Book of Boba. And so at the end of the day, I might be like, sometimes I put on Clone Wars and I know I'm weird, but I'm like, oh, this really goofy ass episode where R2 and 3PO are delivering a cake for Padme's luncheon. I kind of like it. It's kind of fun. This kind of does like this Alice in Wonderland thing. And I'm kind of like, oh, this is kind of just easy,
I watched. Yeah, I remember that.
I think we'll all be like super excited once we get that first Andor trailer. But for now, it's all about Kenobi for me.
Yeah. You think we'll get the Andor trailer at Celebration?
Yes. It's coming out this year, right?
It's coming out this year.
Yeah, I think we will.
I think we will. Yeah.
Will they release it for everyone, or will they only show people at Celebration?
No, because they know it's going to leak somehow, and they don't want like grainy, shitty mobile footage. They'll release it. I think those days are over.
And that would be really unfair because still there are people that aren't going because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I think we might even get like a Mando season 3, like a few not character, but like some stills from the episode, the first 2 episodes. We'll see some stuff. Yeah, I think we'll probably get like a behind the scenes reel, but we won't get a trailer. It's too early for the Mando trailer, but we'll see something from Mando.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious if what they will do for Mando, because I mean they could really just show stuff from like the first episode and not really get too deep into it, but I'm excited for Andor. But Kenobi is legit all I wanted for years. Me too. That's I'll be honest, like if every Star Wars thing that's been made by Disney, if I time traveled from 2012 to today or to when that stuff was all done, I could only watch one, I would have picked Kenobi. Really? That's probably the one I probably would have. Yeah. Because it tells you everything you need to know about Disney making Star Wars content. If they can't do this Kenobi series well, they can't do anything. If they can't land this, then to me they will probably never be able to truly land anything. It will be happenstance if something is good. You know what I mean? If something is really truly good. And when we get into like sequel trilogy films, I like 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3. That's not really a passing grade for me in the big picture, though. for a trilogy. So right now, I don't know if they can do a trilogy because they haven't, as far as they haven't successfully done one for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then TV shows, Mandalorian season 1 is a breath of fresh air, surprisingly good, but also it's a basic bitch at the same time. It's basic as hell. And then season 2, it covers up its wart with that Luke Skywalker saying. You know what I mean? It like if you remove Luke from that thing, they have no ending. I mean, Luke is the ending, so maybe that's not fair, but it also like barely tied into what was going on. It did not further. In fact, it was a detour to the main story. Like when you look at what it is, like, oh, there's these cloners and they're after the baby, and then I'm gonna make him a foundling and all this stuff. And then we go, oh no, he went away to college. Oh, just kidding, he quit. So it's fine though. It's fine. It's not bad. But and then Book of Boba, I don't think Book of Boba was supposed to be what it is. I think it just came out that way, and we got what we got. Sometimes
I don't understand that. I don't understand how that happened.
Yeah. It's just it was, but it was made during a weird time and stuff. So maybe that's why. But Kenobi's the one where it's actually dealing like the sequel trilogy that was always going to move into a weird place because it was taking a finished story and making and kicking it in the ass and making it into more. So it was always going to disappoint somebody in some time in some way, probably.
I think Lucasfilm are confident in Kenobi though. I think they know they got a hit on their hands.
Yeah,
I think they they know that we're gonna love it.
Yeah, because this is their first time really dealing with the established 6 films and something from it directly though, and continuing that. And so yeah, if it meanders or it's bad, it's every indication I have is they like nailed it.
It's good,
and it's good. Everything I've heard about it, I love. I don't dislike.
Do you love it so much you would marry it?
I'm trying to think of what like Leia's little droid that like folds up or whatever, like that whole thing that it does. That's where I'm a little bit like maybe that's going to be like shitty, but it probably won't matter. You know what I mean? But I'm just trying to think of like what can make it not work.
Yeah.
But I also believe in Ewan McGregor a lot. I don't think Ewan McGregor would purposely is a producer on it too. And so I don't think he would do something that seemed off.
Right.
I don't think after being in the 3 prequels that got the most hate of any movies in the history of the world, I don't think he would sign back up to get abused.
Yeah.
I don't think the money is that good. I don't think. But
does he strip while he's performing in this one?
Yeah, he does. He is into his Obi-Wan cachonis. I think if Ender turns out to be good, then it's because of all the crazy shit that happens around him. I mean, Diego Luna is pretty fucking rad at the same time. So like, I also believe in Diego Luna as an actor and a performer. And but it ultimately depends on is if the spy thriller thing. The 2 things going with it is, can Star Wars fans adapt? Can you make a spy thriller dumb enough? When I say dumb enough, I mean like in the sense that like it could be accessible to kids, because that's where it might be seen as sort of like it might have low numbers because I don't my 7 or my 6 and 8-year-old, they don't like Rogue One. They don't like he'll watch the Darth Vader scene, but the rest of the movie they just don't care. They just don't want to watch it. It's not like for them. It's
probably more for adults.
It's more, Rogue One is more for adults. It just doesn't work for them how the other Star Wars movies does it. And so this one right here, it's not going to have a Grogu in it. It's not going to be kid friendly by the sounds of things. So but it's a spy thriller. And so do they go full on in? Do they really lean into the genre, and do they challenge like fans with it as the question? You know what I mean? Or do they dumb it down?
Well, it could also be that this could be like the adult show that adult fans have been asking for. You know what I mean? Like without it being sexual or violent. Not violent. Sexual or overly violent.
Star Wars.
I'm sorry,
Sexual.
horror.
Should that be tomorrow's episode?
What?
Rogue One gone sexual. Have you ever seen that on YouTube? They just write
No.
gone sexual for
Uh.
whatever it happens to be.
Uh-uh.
Yeah, it's like a stupid thing they do, you know. Andor gone sexual. Bad
I'm-
Batch gone sexual.
No, but I mean, like, you know, they probably will never have like a horror Star Wars, and maybe
Full-on horror? Yeah, I don't
maybe
see that.
Andor is going to be the adult show that.
Would be fun though if they did like a little Halloween show for like October.
Uh-huh.
But has Disney made a horror film that isn't Victorian horror, like a haunted mansion kind of thing? I don't know. I don't know if
They're doing a haunted house movie that's coming out next year in March, I think. But I think it's aimed for kids. So
But I'm talking like horror, like
full horror.
the God, that one with the stormtroopers.
Death Troopers.
Yeah,
Or-
that
mhm.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I think, I mean, there is a chance Acolyte might have some of that creepy kind of factor into it, but
Mhm.
Red 5, by the way, Red 5 sent my son the Enfys Nest speeder biker, with the speeder bike like a while ago.
Oh.
My daughter's commandeered it though. It's no longer his. And she
Stole it.
but she doesn't even but there's no like, not to be like corny, there's like no like girl power fucking angle to it. She doesn't really even get what it is. She just likes
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, I'm gonna try to get her to watch the Han Solo movie, and she'll be like, "What?" You know, see if she puts 2 and 2 together. Because Rick Jones says, "Escape from Witch Mountain" by Disney. Yeah, Escape from Octu. Will Morgan says, "Last Jedi is haunted." Does that count as horror? Oh no, Will, come on. The Crawling Chaos says that Vader scene in Rogue One made me think of the Terminator and Jason Voorhees. Yeah, that's I kind of found the some of the coverage of Kenobi where they're making it sound like he's like a different Vader. And I'm like, I think that has more to do with it, just him being put back together and stuff. Like we see like him in the tank and shit like that. I think that's why they're saying that. But anyways, let's call it a show here, because I'm gonna go play Fortnite with Bestman Bulletin. D'Angelo says, for me, I'd rank the Disney stuff: Last Jedi, Force Awakens, Mando 1 and 2, Rogue One, Boba, Solo, Rise of Skywalker. Yeah, I wouldn't. I would probably take that same something very similar to that one too. Yeah, I think that's probably pretty solid, dude. Yeah, I'm with you there. I agree with you. So, anyways, thank you to Max, the Hootie Tootie Disco Cutie, for joining us today, and for Mr. Spreezy for I honestly didn't think you were going to come today. I thought like,
no,
I
didn't get the notification.
Yeah, I was like, well, he'll see it someday, and then he'll know.
Someday. After the show.
But yeah, but we'll be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. and doing more Star Wars. Rob will be back. He's gonna have some choice words for D'Angelo, and it'll be a good time. And thank you for hanging out with us, everyone. Crawling Chaos and all of you cats. And yeah, so you know what? Oh, what was that?
Like the video.
Oh, like the video, you savages! Come on,
like the video. Become a member.
Yeah, join the cult.
Share with friends.
Yeah, make your friends be in the cult. Tell your friends they have to wear the helmet, though. You don't have to, though.
Yeah.
See, if you get a friend in the cult, you don't have to wear the helmet anymore. That's where our cult's better. But if you haven't, you have to wear the helmet until you get someone in the cult.
Yep.
That makes the most sense. All right. Well, here we go. Goodbye.
Bye.
Excuse me.
fair.
Come on, let's go.
It's not about spaceships.
Making Star Wars Show. Making Star Wars Show. Making Star Wars Show. Making Star Wars Show.